Welcome back. The news in full. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met visiting Bahrain King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa in the Red Sea city of Sharm el-Sheikh for talks that covered bilateral relations in addition to a number of Arab and regional issues of mutual concern. President Sisi expressed Egypt's appreciation to historic ties that bind the two nations and said he was looking forward to enhancing bilateral relations in various domains. For his part, King Hamad offered his appreciation to President Sisi and hailed the Egyptian-Bahraini close and sincere ties, confirming that his current visit to Egypt comes within the framework of distinguished relations that bind the two brotherly nations, which share one future and destiny. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi stressed the importance that the upcoming Libyan elections would achieve the free will of the Libyan people and called for uniting the Libyan army and strengthening Libyan national institutions. During his meeting with visiting Libya's head of the National Unity Government, Abdelhamid Dbeibeh, President Sisi renewed Egypt's stance on respecting Libya's sovereignty and unity and rejecting all forms of foreign interventions in its internal affairs. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Dbeibeh headed the 11th session of the Egyptian-Libyan Higher Committee and witnessed the signing of a number of cooperation agreements between the two sides in the fields of agriculture, infrastructure, and civil aviation security. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli stressed Egypt's firm support to Iraq that was shown in President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi's two visits to Iraq this year. This came at a meeting held by Prime Minister Madbouli with Iraqi Parliament Speaker Mohammed al-Halbousi. During the meeting, Madbouli underscored Egypt's support to Libya in its war against terrorism and to Iraqi efforts in development, boosting security and stability. For his part, the Iraqi official expressed his great appreciation to Egypt, hailing its political stances regarding Iraqi issues in different arenas. Minister of Defense and Military Production Mohammad Zaki witnessed the final stage of the joint Bright Star 2021 military exercises, which were held at several air bases in Egypt. Arab countries participating besides Egypt are Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Iraq, Bahrain, Sudan, Morocco, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, and Tunisia. The exercises also includes other African countries, including Kenya, Nigeria, and Tanzania. This is in addition to Cyprus, Italy, Spain, Greece, and Pakistan. The goal of the exercise, including training on a typical combat act, developing joint work, and getting to know the latest international combat systems. Enhancing the strategic and security ties among the countries involved, exchanging expertise, and developing the combat techniques among them were also part of the goals. Training activities were attended by the commander of the Air Force and a number of senior commanders of the armed forces. In the framework of head of the National Media Authority Hussein Zain participation in the Euro-Asian Media Forum in its 17th session in the city of Nur Sultan, Kazakhstan, he met with Kazakh Minister of Information and Social Development. The Kazakh minister reiterated the importance of bilateral cooperation in the field of media, especially with the National Media Authority, and benefiting from the authority's expertise. For his part, Zain stressed the significance of activating programs exchange. In another meeting, the head of the National Media Authority met with President of Kazakhstan's new channel, Khabar, his deputy and manager of the channel's international cooperation sector. Both sides agreed on carrying out intensified training courses. On the sidelines of the Forum of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Digital Transformation Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Dr. Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, met on Thursday with a number of private universities' presidents, with Secretary of Private and National Universities Council, Dr. Khaled Al-Ghor, attending. The meeting tackled following up the position of the electronic admission for students to private universities, in addition to studying extending payment period of university fees and reducing minimum score of applying to private universities. Egypt reported 569 new coronavirus infections, bringing the total number of cases to 295,051 people since the outbreak hit the country in mid-February last year. The Health Ministry also reported 13 new deaths, bringing the total number of fatalities to 16,921. The ministry added that 477 patients were discharged from hospitals, raising the number of those who have recovered to 248,425 people. Welcome back, and now with the business and finance news in full. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli received a delegation of the World Bank where they discussed a project of modernizing registering lands and real estate in Egypt. Madbouli stressed the importance that Egypt attaches to accelerating the development of real estate and lands registration system within few years. The Prime Minister directed reviewing the possibility of applying experimental models of the project in new cities, newly developed areas, and then in old areas. For her part, Minister of International Cooperation Rania Al-Mashot, who was attending the meeting, said that a ministerial committee has prepared a draft program to modernize the program that aims at preparing a national geographic database for all real estate. Egypt's stock market indices rose during last week's sessions, gaining £5.1 billion. The market's capital for companies listed in the bourse reached £726.3 billion, gaining 0.7%. The bourse's weekly report showed that the benchmark EGX 30 index lost by 0.54% to reach 10,996 points, while the medium-caped EGX 70 rose by 2.10% to reach 2,866 points, and the broader EGX 100 added 1.87% to reach 3,866 points.